Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And today we're recording a mini episode here to discuss the signing of defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman, however you want to call him, DaQuan Jones, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. Panthers signed him today. I don't believe that the numbers are out yet in terms of the contract.
No, the money aspect isn't. I have read that it is a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Not surprising. That seems to be Scott Fitterer and Matt Rule's kind of situation. They're liking to put these 1-2 year band-aids on here until they can find either a long-term solution. I mean, we haven't seen anyone stick around longer than those contracts. We've seen them get kicked out sooner, but either way, I love this signing.
Yeah, I like the signing a lot. Obviously, it was a position of need when they let go of Zach Kerr, which I still don't really understand.
I don't either.
Considering the price that he was at. But DaQuan Jones has always been labeled as sort of an underrated guy, former 4th-round pick, but just really solid in terms of durability, run blocking. He's known as a really good run blocking defensive tackle. He's a big guy.
Run stuffing, not run blocking. He's not helping the running back.
Run stuffing, right. Run stuffing. Well, he blocks the running back from doing anything.
There we go.
322.
322. Yeah, that's what PFF
6'4", so he's a little taller than Zach Kerr.
Former captain of Tennessee's defense, too.
Yeah.
So, he's respected in that locker room.
Started all 16 games, 5 of the last 6 seasons. And the only season that he missed was 2017. He missed 4 games. So since 2015, he's started every game he's played in, which if you're comparing him to Zach Kerr, that's the difference, right? Because Zach Kerr just doesn't start a lot of games. He's a very good backup defensive tackle. But here we're getting a quality starting defensive tackle who's going to look really good next to Derrick Brown.
Absolutely. And that's what I've been worried kind of about this offseason is they let go of Zach Kerr, who played really well last year for us in a lot of starting role.
Yep.
But I was like, they got rid of him. They signed, what's the guy's name from the Rams? Morgan Fox. There we go. He's a defensive end, kind of a tweener and defensive tackle. But someone needs to be up next to Derrick Brown pretty consistently to stop that run because, honestly, I'm a little afraid of Morgan Fox, Derrick Brown, and then Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns out there, if they're just going to run straight up the middle. I mean,
yeah. I never really considered the Fox signing like as a starter. In fact, pretty much everybody except DaQuan Jones, who we just signed, I've assumed is just depth, a depth signing. Other than Hassan Reddick, of course.
And Denzel Perryman.
Well, I'm talking about on the line.
Oh, on the line, yeah.
On the line, yeah. So, yeah, but, I mean, I really like this signing. When I heard about it this morning that they were talking to him, I was like, oh, that's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have maybe given him like a 3-year deal or something just to keep him around for a little bit because, as I said, he's a very quality player, very underrated player.
He's 29 years old. Good locker room guy, cause a lot of disruption in the backfield. He's not going to wow you with stats, and that's just not his game.
He's not a guy that's going to get 15 sacks. He's not Aaron Donald.
No.
But he's very, very good at what he does.
He's going to chew up blockers to free up Perryman and Shaq Thompson in that backfield and Jeremy Chin to make plays on the running back, to make plays, just out there.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited for this. This is kind of the pickup I've been waiting for that defensive line to make me feel pretty solid. Still have questions, but overall, I think this signing kind of doesn't complete the defense. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of patches the last hole I really saw glaring.
Yeah, well, especially because defensive tackle is not a very deep, not very high end or deep in terms of the draft, right?
Correct.
It's just you're not going to get an everyday starter, unless you're taking one in the first round, maybe, which the Panthers are not going to do. in this draft. So this was a desperate need for the Panthers. They did that. Now you look at corner and safety, both of which are pretty deep in this draft, and some really quality guys will be available when the Panthers pick. And that's pretty much it on the defense, right? That's pretty much all you're looking for in terms of starters.
Yeah, maybe some linebacking help. I mean, Jermaine Carter, he played well last year, but Perryman's always injured. This is going to be, so you got to worry about that. Shaq Thompson, thank God Tahir Whitehead's gone, but
yeah.
And Jeremy Chin's going to be playing more of that safety role. But yeah, overall, I really, really like the sign. Like I said, no glaring holes. They're in that 8th spot, so it'll be interesting if they trade back, because that will go over our mocks later on. But I mean, it gives you a lot of freedom. This offseason has given the Panthers a lot of freedom to do what they want to do with 8 pick. They can do best player available. They can move back a little bit, get some more picks. And this just helps it even more.
And that's the thing about the Sam Darnold signing. Like that's what that did for the Panthers. And then, signing Perriman and now signing Jones has just really given the Panthers the opportunity to really take best player available, I think, honestly. Yeah. Because even Perriman, like even if you trade back and Micah Parsons is there at like 15 or something, that's an upgrade to your team.
Micah Parsons is a playmaker, man. I would be ecstatic if we got him on this defense. I know we got Perryman for 1 year here, but Micah Parsons could be another linchpin for this team.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if Perryman is your backup. That's pretty good. So
I mean, you could I hate saying this, Jermaine Carter, but you could put in Shaq Thompson, Perryman, and Parsons out there.
Yeah.
You have Jeremy Chin in the safety, and then Hassan Reddick would be kind of that rover guy that could also drop down to the line most times. And that's
scary. I mean, and that's a young, good defense that this team is putting together. So probably what will happen, and what I hope happens, is that they focus on the offensive line in this draft. If you're choosing between like Slater or Horn or Perryman, not Perryman, Parsons, then probably go Slater, right? I mean,
I would go Slater. I'm happy. We'll drop him back and even go look at Darrisaw. Yeah, because
there's plenty of options here.
And I've also seen mocks where Rashawn Slater falls. So,
well, yeah, I mean, and that's another thing is, defensive tackle is not deep. Offensive tackle is very deep in this draft. You can get quality players like in the 2nd and 3rd round in this
guys
draft.
Who would probably be more like the 1st round picks in other drafts, but
so, and as we've said all along, there are going to be stars that drop in this draft, future stars that drop in this draft because of the lack of tape and the lack of play over the last couple of years or last year. So it's going to be interesting to see, but back to DaQuan Jones. Just kind of looking at his PFF score here, because we have that ability. In 2020, looking at about a 67.7 overall rating, which is good. Yeah. Compared to Zach Kerr, who had an 84.1, which is very good. But that was in less play time. DaQuan Jones started and played all 16 games. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, if you go back to 2019, 77 for DaQuan Jones. So, I mean, he's got higher level in him, 2017, 72. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I think, again, somewhere in the 70s is a really good player.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know PFF ranks these guys, and it's a lot of ability that we fall on because it's hard watching a defensive tackle who's not a number guy. Yeah. So we're just relying on it.
Just a metric. Not that we rely on it, but it's a metric that we can use to compare players that we haven't seen a lot.
Yeah. And my thought is he's been on a really good defense for a long time. Yeah. Voted captain by his peers. 29 years old, got the size and everything. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through the past seasons here for him, and this past season was his lowest graded season. Most of these seasons he's in the high 70s or 80s in terms of run defense, especially. So we're just getting a really good, and that was a limitation of the Panthers last year was their run defense, or
Past couple
like
years.
short passing game, something like that. So this is going to help in a lot of different ways. I love it. Good signing.
I love it too. Real quick, we'll knock it out. Grade?
A.
I'm going A as well.
I'd like to see the money but I can't imagine that they overpaid. They don't have a lot of money to spend. So.
Well, I'm thinking 5-6 million, maybe a little bit.
Oh, you think
more.
That high? Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think? Know. I was thinking.
I mean, we're talking about a 1-year deal too.
I was thinking 4 or 5.
Spot Rack has the financials listed at $4 million.
Hey, all right then.
So I don't know if that's their guess or what, but
that looks like they're not saying projected. They're saying DaQuan Jones signed a 1-year, $4 million contract with the Panthers. Hey, I got it.
So yeah, definitely A.
So just add another reason why I should be a GM. I value these players correctly. Now that's a hell of a deal, honestly. 1 year, $4 million. I'm happy with that. His last contract with the Titans was 3 years, $21 million. So that's a significant cut from what he was making.
Agreed. Okay. All right. Any last thoughts?
No. I guess we'll be back later this week with a more traditional, longer discussion. But that's it for me.
All right. We want to thank everybody for listening. If you like our show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMixPodcast.com. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@MeowMixPodcast.com.
And check out a mock draft that Jerry did with a bunch of other Panthers YouTubers. I think it's on the Panthers Podcast Network, PPN, right?
Yeah. I think Panthers Nation Podcast.
Panthers Nation Podcast, yeah. And that was last night? A couple nights ago. 3.5+ hours.
Yeah, 3.5 hours. Little bags under my eye.
Yeah.
But we will go over that on our next full episodes that you'll be able to catch us on.
Yeah. So watch that and then come back for the discussion. But until then, everybody, take it easy and keep pounding.